at SunMed Growers in Warwick, Maryland. I think it was 2016. They needed to print labels on demand for their cannabis packaging operation. So they were just getting past the point of setting the company up as a licensed medical marijuana grower in the state of Maryland. The conversation turned really quickly to how are we going to package this stuff? How do we put labels on this? How do we get the compliance information together?
When you start in a regulated market like this, it's almost prescribed to you what packaging you're allowed to use, how much of the label needs to be spent on disclaimers and required information. But then it also has to look good.
In 2018, I had to print all the labels beforehand, and then we had 2 applicators for our containers. One put the sticker on the lid, the other put the sticker on the side. And then for the first few months, we had to hand roll the pre-rolls to put the sticker on there. It was a nightmare.
I kind of just went in to learn, what are their needs, what are the problems they're trying to overcome, and how can we help? In the beginning, all of the label printing was done by Jordan and her small team in the office, and then they were delivered out to the floor to be manually or semi-automatically applied.
As we got bigger, I found myself spending more and more time pre-printing labels, in the evenings to make sure they were ready for the next morning and making sure I didn't make a mistake because I was entering everything manually.
It has to be right. You don't open a bottle of Advil and print a wrong expiration date. All of those things are things that we have to be, if we don't catch, could be a danger to the market.
In any manufacturing process, in any industry, the more handling you have, the more errors you have, the more coordination that's necessary, the more it becomes very people-focused. Oh, Jordan's out sick today, who's going to print labels?
Rick has been there pretty instrumentally from the beginning as someone who helped us set up as our first print and apply label, right, for our pre-rolls. Pre-rolls were something we came out very early in the market to, and we've since been a market leader of. We make over 10,000 a week, and all of those have to get labeled.
Like in any new business, things change quickly. The feedback they got from the field and from their salespeople, it prompted some changes in packaging. And the minute the packaging changes, it creates a lot of complexity around label printing, and it changed everything. This is the first machine that I'm aware of even exists. This is cutting edge. This is a product that prints and applies labels on demand in color. And it's really set up for next label out, which means that every label could be different. So every container could be serialized if necessary. Right now, we're serializing at the batch level, but this is ready to go to individual serialized container. There's a couple main components to it. There's the printing application, right? So you have to print. What we did though is we married that up with a delivery unit where the label, after it's printed, can sit and wait for the integration with the robot. And then you have this 6-axis robot, also an Epson product, that picks up that label and applies it to a container. And once that container meets it, it goes through a traditional wrapping station where the label is wrapped around the circular container.
My risk of error is much, much smaller, and it takes 2 seconds to send the labels to the machine for them to start using it. It's leaps and bounds ahead of where we started.
Rick has been great in making the lab talk to our system, talk to the printer, and then getting all of that in a very streamlined, efficient, easy to run machine.
He's the master of efficiency.
Regardless of who you are and what business you're in, if you're labeling anything, you have to figure out how are we going to print it, what are we going to print it on, and how are we going to get it on the package. Anytime I feel like I can bring some level of improvement to where people and machines come together, I take satisfaction in that.